You wear it like a badge of honor. You say it at dinner parties with a distinct tone of condescension, a slight lift of the chin. I don't play video games. You tell people you don't have the time. You tell them you prefer the real world. You frame this rejection of digital play as a sign of maturity, a graduation from the trivial pursuits of childhood into the serious architecture of adulthood. You look at the guy playing Elden Ring or the girl building a farm in Stardew Valley, and you feel a distinct sense of superiority. You are the sentinel of reality. They are escaping, you are building. But let's look at the data. Let's look at what you actually do with those saved hours. You don't play games, but you doom scroll Instagram for 90 minutes before bed. You don't play games, but you binge watch 3 seasons of a show you don't even like just to turn your brain off. You don't play games, but you refresh your email on a Saturday morning, waiting for a crisis that hasn't happened yet. You aren't abstaining from video games because you are too grown up. You are abstaining because you have lost the ability to engage in non-transactional joy. This isn't about Mario. This isn't about Call of Duty. This is about a psychological rigidity so severe that you cannot permit yourself to do something unless it produces a measurable, tangible result. You aren't mature. You are calcified. And today, we are going to break that open. Let's start with the surface-level lie, I'm too busy. This is the shield you use to deflect inspection. You claim that video games are a waste of time, and in your economic model of existence, you are correct. A video game produces nothing. You cannot eat the coins you collect. You cannot put your high score on your resume. When the console turns off, the world you built evaporates. To you, that is terrifying. To you, an hour spent without an ROI, return on investment, is an hour stolen from your future potential. But look at your behavior. You are not a machine. You are a biological entity that requires rest. But you don't know how to rest. You only know how to recover so you can work again. When you watch Netflix, you are passive. You are a receptacle. You are checking out. When you scroll TikTok, you are dopamine looping. It is anesthesia, but a video game requires active engagement. It requires focus, problem solving, and adrenaline, but toward a goal that doesn't matter. And that is where you glitch. You cannot justify expending effort on something that doesn't pay you. You are willing to be comatose, but you are not willing to be playful. You view your energy as a finite currency that must only be spent on things that increase your status, your bank account, or your physique. You don't play games because you are fundamentally stingy with your own life force. You are hoarding your energy for a someday that never arrives, refusing to spend a single drop on the sheer, useless act of having fun right now. Let's drill deeper, past the schedule into the brain. Why do you really hate games? It's the friction. Modern video games are complex systems. They require hand-eye coordination, spatial reasoning, and the understanding of arbitrary rule sets. When you pick up a controller, you suck, you die, you fall off the cliff, you lose. For a specific type of high-functioning, control-obsessed personality, which is exactly who you are, this feeling is intolerable. You have spent your entire adult life curating environments where you are the expert. You are good at your job. You are good at the gym. You are good at navigating your social circles. You have insulated yourself from the feeling of incompetence. Video games strip that away instantly. They force you to be a beginner again. They force you to fail repeatedly to learn. This is the learning loop. Gamers thrive on this loop. They fail, they adjust, they try again. They view failure as data. You view failure as an indictment of your character. You feel stupid when you can't control the camera angle. You feel embarrassed when a 12-year-old beats you. Your ego is so fragile that it cannot withstand being bad at something, even something pointless. So you reject the activity entirely. You say, I just don't get it, or it's too complicated. Translation: I am terrified of any arena where I am not immediately dominant. You aren't avoiding games. You are avoiding the humility required to learn a new language. You have become so addicted to competence that you have sacrificed your neuroplasticity. Your brain is hardening. You are losing the cognitive flexibility to adapt to new systems, simply because you refuse to look foolish for 20 minutes. Now we hit the identity layer. The sentinel. You have constructed an identity built around seriousness. You are the adult in the room. You view play as regressive. You look at adults who game as cases of arrested development. You think Peter Pan syndrome. Grow up. This judgment is a defense mechanism. It is the endowment effect of your own misery. You have sacrificed your joy to build your career, your house, your reputation. If you admit that someone can have all those things and still spend 4 hours on a Saturday slaying dragons, it devalues your sacrifice. You need gaming to be childish so that your lack of joy feels like a virtue. You tell yourself you are a stoic. You are not a stoic. You are a repressionist. True stoicism is about emotional regulation and focus. What you are doing is emotional amputation. You have bifurcated the world into productive, good, and unproductive, bad. But look at the psychological cost of this identity. You are likely chronically stressed. You likely have difficulty connecting with your children or your partner on their level. You are present physically, but mentally you are auditing the room, looking for things to fix, clean, or organize. You cannot just be, you have to do. Because if you stop doing, if you stop performing the role of the serious adult, you are terrified that you will disappear. You don't have a personality outside of your utility. A video game asks you to suspend your disbelief. It asks you to enter a magic circle where the laws of physics and economics don't apply. You cannot enter the circle because your ego is too heavy to lift. You are chained to your reality because you have mistaken misery for importance. You think that because you are stressed, you matter. And the gamer who is smiling must therefore be irrelevant. We are at the bottom now, the bedrock. Why does a grown human being lose the ability to play? It is rarely a natural evolution. It is almost always a trauma response. Somewhere along the line, you were taught that you are only as valuable as your output. Maybe it was a parent who only praised grades, never creativity. Maybe you grew up in a chaotic household where fun felt like a dangerous distraction from the need to survive or keep the peace. Maybe you were poor and you internalized the idea that every second must be spent escaping poverty and that leisure is a sin of the wealthy. This is performance-based self-esteem. You don't play video games because deep down, you don't believe you deserve to enjoy something that doesn't pay you back. You feel guilty when you relax. You feel a phantom itch when your hands are idle. That anxiety you feel on Sunday afternoon, that isn't boredom. That is your conditioning screaming at you that you are unsafe because you are not producing. Video games are the ultimate anti-transaction. They are pure play. They are autotelic, an end in themselves. To a person traumatized by transactional love, an autotelic activity feels like death. You look at the screen and you don't see an adventure. You see a void. You see time slipping away. You see the disapproval of the ghosts in your head who told you that you had to work twice as hard to get half as far. You killed your inner child because he wasn't paying rent, and now you wander around your immaculate house with your impressive job and your serious reputation, wondering why you feel dead inside, wondering why the colors seem muted. It's because you severed the connection to the part of you that knows how to imagine. You traded wonder for efficiency, and you got a good deal on the market, but you got ripped off in the soul. I am not going to tell you to go buy a PS5. If you bought one today, you wouldn't play it. It would sit there, gathering dust, a plastic monument to your guilt. You aren't ready for that. I am not going to tell you to become a gamer. This isn't about games. This is about reclaiming your capacity for non-transactional joy. This is about proving to your brain that you are allowed to exist without producing. We need to perform an exorcism on your efficiency addiction. Here is the prescription. It is small. It is stupid. It is essential. I want you to find one activity this week that has zero ROI. Download a mobile game. Something simple like Tetris or a puzzle game. Play it for 10 minutes. The condition: you cannot listen to a podcast while you do it. You cannot be on a conference call. You cannot be waiting for something else. You must do it solely for the sake of doing it. When the anxiety spikes, and it will, when the voice says this is a waste of time, I should be doing the laundry, I could be answering emails, I want you to observe that voice. Don't fight it, just acknowledge it. There is the sentinel, he is scared. And then keep playing. You need to rebuild the neural pathway that connects action to joy instead of action to result. You need to learn that it is safe to waste time. Because time enjoyed is not wasted, but a life spent strictly monitoring the clock, that is a waste of a life. Stop trying to win at being a human. You can't win life. You can only play it. If this video made you angry, good. The anger is the part of you that knows I'm right, fighting for its survival. If you are ready to stop optimizing and start living, you're in the right place. I talk about the psychology of the self, not to make you more productive, but to make you more real. Subscribe and go waste some time.